America has been waking up to the way police specifically target black people. And now, some Los Angeles police officers are facing the consequences.
Well, State Attorney General Javier Becerra has revoked access to records generated by the LAPD for the Cal Gang database. LAPD Chief Michael Moore withdrew from that program after an internal audit uncovered significant misuse of the gang tracking tool. Criminal charges have been filed against 3 officers accused of falsifying records. The department believes those people that officers stopped were labeled as gang members or gang associates. More than a dozen officers are still under investigation.
Holy shit. Cops in the LAPD have been charged with putting innocent people into a gang database. And the reason they allegedly did it is that the officers' performance reviews were based partly on how many gang members they dealt with each day. So to make their bosses happy, they just said everyone they stopped was in a gang. And this is basically the equivalent of putting your Fitbit on your dog to get your steps in. Except instead of cheating yourself, you're cheating innocent people's ability to get jobs or housing and undermining community trust in law enforcement. And you don't think about this, but this is bad news for the gangs too. I mean, think about those gangs. They thought their membership was way higher than it was. Recruitment is through the roof, guys. Now we can finally afford that pool table. And you see, this is one of the biggest problems with policing in America. Police are incentivized to create criminals and crime because they get paid if they do. If you pay them more, if there's more crime, they want to create more crime and more criminals. But if they lived in a system where they were trying to just protect and serve, they wouldn't need to do this. And this is the reality of being black in America. It's almost impossible not to get tangled up with the legal system in some way at some point in your life. And a new story out of Michigan shows how it can even happen to children.
A Michigan teenager reportedly had her probation revoked after she failed to complete online coursework for school. The 15-year-old, only identified as Grace, is now in a juvenile detention center. ProPublica reports she has been there for over a month and was originally sentenced to probation for stealing and fighting with her mother.
The judge, in her ruling, said this wasn't punishment. This was a way that she thought Oakland County could best help this girl. This student was placed in detention on May 14th. She remains there today.
This is truly one of the most fucked up stories I have ever seen. A 15-year-old steals something at school, gets put on probation, and now months later during the pandemic, she gets arrested and locked up because she didn't do her homework online. I mean, it's crystal clear at this point that this system is set up to punish people rather than help them. Because I don't know about you, but when I was in school, kids didn't get arrested for stealing. Like when I was in the 7th grade, Darlington Machila stole a Game Boy from Thiessen Pillay. But the school didn't call the police. The teachers just made us hold a fake trial in the classroom to see who was guilty. And then once we reached the verdict as kids, we decided that the punishment was death. Now look, in hindsight, that was a little extreme, especially considering that I was the one who actually stole the Game Boy. But the point is we handled it internally as a school. No need for police. If you ask me, the root cause of all of this is that in America, black children are not seen as children. Whether it's a 15-year-old girl in Michigan or Tamir Rice in Cleveland, American society acts like black people don't have children. They just give birth to smaller black adults who are born criminals. So look, it's clear that as much progress has been made recently, there's still a very long way to go in this country. And it doesn't help that the guy at the very top is still very much in denial.
President Trump attempting to shift the focus once again. He now says when it comes to police shootings of black Americans, white people have it worse.
Why are African Americans still dying at the hands of law enforcement in this country?
And so are white people. So are white people. What a terrible question to ask. So are white people. More white people, by the way. More white people.
Okay. Setting aside the fact that black people are disproportionately stopped, arrested, and killed by the police, what is Trump's argument here? Because this reporter was like, cops are killing a lot of black people, and Trump's response was, no, you idiot. They're killing everybody. These cops are lunatics. Blacks, whites, browns. All lives don't matter. I mean, it actually almost sounds like Trump is one step away from defunding the police because of how they treat white people. And you know what? I don't agree with his logic, but if it gets us to meaningful police reform, I'll take it. I call it defund plus plus.